This transcript covers one of the most famous urban legends in paranormal history. To align with your MNDBLWN aesthetic, I've restructured this into a professional, high-tension narrative that emphasizes the psychological and atmospheric elements while stripping away the conversational fluff. Title: The Void of Monastash Ridge. Deconstructing Mel's whole eye, the infinite trash can. In the high desert of Ellensburg, Washington, on a patch of land along Monastash Ridge, sits a geographic impossibility. For decades, locals used a 9-foot-wide aperture in the earth as a communal dumping ground. Broken refrigerators, heavy machinery, and thousands of old tires were hurled into the dark, but the hole never filled. Mel Waters, the property owner in the late 1990s, noticed the anomaly. There was no echo. No sound of impact. His dogs, normally fearless, refused to cross a specific perimeter around the site. When forced, they would claw at the dirt in a state of sheer terror. 15 miles of nothing. Mel, an avid fisherman, decided to measure the depth using heavy-duty spools of fishing line and a 1-pound lead weight. The first 5,000 feet, no bottom. 10,000 feet, still descending, the limit. After tying together dozens of spools, Mel reached 80,000 feet over 15 miles. The weight never touched the earth. For perspective, the deepest man-made hole in history, the Kola, super deep, only reached about 40,000 feet before the heat made further drilling impossible. Mel's line came back up, cold and dry. 3. The resurrection phenomenon. The legend took a darker turn when Mel recounted a neighbor's experience. The neighbor had disposed of his deceased dog by throwing it into the void. Days later, he claimed to see the same dog wandering the woods. It wore the same collar, but its eyes were vacant. It didn't recognize its name. It was as if the animal had been returned, but the soul had been left behind in the dark. For military intervention in the blackout in 1997, Mel took his story to Coast AM with Art Bell. The broadcast reached millions, but the publicity came with a price. Within days, Mel claimed his property was swarmed by black helicopters and armed personnel. It was told a plane had crashed on his land, but there was no smoke, no debris, and no FAA report. Eventually, the government allegedly leased his land for a sum that required his immediate relocation to Australia. Years later, early satellite mapping services like TerraServer showed the specific coordinates of his property were manually blacked out of digital. No-fly zone that existed long before Google Earth. The second hole. The Nevada entity. The story didn't end in Washington. Mel claimed to be contacted by a Basque sheep-herding community in Nevada who guarded a similar anomaly. This second hole featured a metallic collar that was warm to the touch and silenced any vibration. During a controlled experiment, the group lowered a live sheep into the shaft. When they reeled the crate back up, the animal was dead, appearing cooked from the inside out. Upon autopsy, they discovered a moving, seal-like creature inside the sheep's chest cavity. An entity with human-like eyes that eventually crawled out and descended back into the hole. The fact versus folklore. Geologically, a hole 15 miles deep is a physical impossibility. The pressure of the Earth's crust would cause the shaft to collapse. Yet, the Mel's hole phenomenon persists for 3 reasons. The silence. To this day, no Mel Waters has been found in public records, suggesting a pseudonym or a total erasure of identity. The visual evidence. While many have found wells in the area, the true site remains elusive, potentially buried under tons of concrete by the Department of Energy. The psychological void. The story taps into a primal human fear, the idea that the ground beneath us is solid, but a gateway to a dimension that doesn't follow our laws of physics.